Hi everyone, Petrik here. It is time to talk about all the books that I acquired this month. Not gonna lie, for the past 3 months, since the month of May until the end of July, until the end of this month, my book acquisition have been pretty insane. It is the most I ever received within 3 months. And yeah, today's video, I will be talking about my July book haul. And once again, this is my second biggest monthly book haul ever. And because of how large this book haul is, it's more than 40 books. Yeah, more than 40 books. And because of how large this is, I will not be able to talk about my digital book haul in today's video because that would stretch this video even longer. And I think I just want to say, a few of you have mentioned that I've been spending so much money on books, and I want to clarify that I haven't exceeded my yearly budget yet. So if you pay attention to my monthly book haul video, in every book haul video, I don't buy a lot of books, usually less than 10 books. And that's the same again in today's video. Most of the books I got each month were sent to me generously by friends, publishers, or self-published fantasy authors for me to read and review. Ever since Book Depository closed down, it has been so difficult to acquire physical books at an affordable price, and I really cannot thank them enough for it, especially because all of them are given in exchange for an honest review. And yeah, before I start talking about all the books that I bought first, because they love my passion for literacy, today's video is sponsored by Brilliant. Whether it's on education, photography, video editing, languages, or any topic, I try to always encourage anyone willing to learn or study something new. Brilliant.org is the best way to interactively learn math, science engineering, computer science, and data science and analysis. Brilliant has thousands of lessons, from foundational and advanced mathematics to AI, data science, neural networks, and more. And new lessons are added monthly. As a reader who likes to keep track of my reading statistics, I obviously like learning about data and statistics. Even when we are busy, with Brilliant, it is possible to build a daily learning habit with bite-sized lessons anytime and anywhere through your phone, tablet, or computer. It has also been proven that interactive learning is multiply more effective than passive learning. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/PetrikLeo or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Thank you so much to brilliant.org for sponsoring today's video. And now let's talk about all the books that I got this month, and I will start with the first category, which is all the books that I bought on my own. The first one is for a pre-order that recently came, and it is for Jade Shards by Fonda Lee. Yeah, this one is published by Subterranean Press, just like the Jade Setter of Janlun. And this will be a collection of short stories in the Green Bone Saga series, one of my top favorite series of all time. And yeah, Fonda Lee has confirmed that this will be the last new stories in the world of the Green Bone Saga. It will be sad to say goodbye to this one, to this world, but I will always revisit the characters and the stories inside this series for many years to come. Love this series very much, and I look forward to reading this most likely within next month. The cover art by Shari Slok is once again amazing. It matches the cover art of the Jade Setter of Janlun, and because now I own the signed and numbered edition of both the Jade Setter of Janlun and Jade Shards, this means I think it would be easier for me to acquire a copy of Jade City Subterranean Press edition. I hope I will be able to succeed at that, and I hope the price won't be too expensive. So yeah, we'll see. And for the next book that I got, because I just talked about a limited edition, I'm going to show this special edition. This is Caldera by S. Helmick. Yeah, this one I got, well, I bought it impulsively because it was heavily discounted. I bought this for only about $10. Yeah, I only have to pay $10 and then pay the shipping fee, which I think it was $20 or $30. I forgot, but yeah, for that price, the special edition is insane. This is an illustrated special edition. Hold on. Yeah, this is a bit weird. The format is a bit weird, but you can see that almost every page here, almost all of them is illustrated. But it contains illustration by the author herself, and it will feature a lot of other illustrations from other famous illustrators. So of course I have to buy it. Take a look at this. It's amazing, right? It's so beautiful. So yeah, I look forward to reading this, and Thank you so much to the author for making that discount. This is beautiful. I hope that more people will be able to pick this up. This is the front cover and this is the back cover. I think the author and artist is just amazing. And the last special edition that I bought that has arrived to my place, it is the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson. The third secret project novel, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, is currently on its way to me. I think it will actually arrive tomorrow, but we'll see. For now, I will just showcase this one. This is a beautiful book. I mean, I have mentioned that this is probably my least favorite Sanderson novel. Yeah, but as far as the quality of the book goes, this is absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at this. I think Steve Argyle did such an incredible job with all the illustration and design for this book. And also, I think overall this book is just so suitable to be read on a physical format rather than ebooks and maybe even audiobook. Yeah. Or if you are maybe listening to the audiobook for this one, try to read it with the physical copy as well, because they are too good to miss. Yeah, Steve Argyle's contribution to this one is incredible. Although I do think that Yumi and the Nightmare Painter will become the most beautiful edition out of all of them. But I have yet to see the physical copy of Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. And other than this, I also got a bookmark. Tada, this one. And of course, an enamel pin, Cosmere enamel pin of this is Vasher from Warbreaker. As for the remaining 6 books that I bought, none of them are special editions, but I got them all on discount. A very good discount. And the first one is The History of the Hobbit by John D. Rateliff. So I'm not really sure what this book is about. I think this is a non-fiction or compilation of John Tolkien's writing on The Hobbit. It is a massive book. I am not sure when I will get around to this one, but I think you will see this in the next month's book haul. I have purchased myself several new books by Tolkien that I haven't owned yet, and I plan to do a huge reread of all Tolkien's books probably next year. I'm very excited about that, but again, as always, we'll see what my reading book decides. But for this one, I think this is a beautiful cover art. I think this cover art is done by Ted Nesmith. Ted Nesmith is one of the major illustrators behind the world of Middle-earth, like Alan Lee, John Hoy, and of course, Ted Nesmith. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one someday, probably not anytime soon though, for The History of the Hobbit. But I'm glad that I got this one on a massive discount. It's like 1,000 pages long. As for the remaining 5 books, these are part of the same series. This is book 3 until book 7 of a 1,000 Li series by Tao Wong. So the first one is, tada, this is all the 5 books. And the first one that I got here is the 3rd book. The title is The First War. This is the 3rd book in the 1,000 Li series. And then the 4th book is titled The Second Expedition. Tada! After that, we have the Second Sect, the 6th book in the series, The Second Storm, and finally, the 7th book in the series, The Third Kingdom. I got all 5 of this, you know, for how much? Each book cost me only about $1.5 US. So of course, I cannot resist not getting them, right? But the sad thing is, I got these books, these 5 books, because a major bookstore in my country is closing down all branch, and they were doing clearance sale. That's why I managed to get 5 books in the 1,000 Li series by Tao Wong. I already own the first book in a physical format, so right now I'm only missing the 2nd book and I think the 8th book in the series in physical forms. And I will get around to reading this one someday, especially now that Cradle is finished. I heard this is another great progression fantasy or xianxia series. So that's for all the books that I bought. And before I move on to talk about the sub-hobbyist fantasy books that were sent to me by sub-hobbyist fantasy authors, I want to showcase one book that I won on a giveaway. And this is for Red River Savin by AJ Ryan, or you might know him as Anthony Ryan, the author behind Bloodsong and so many other fantasy books. Yeah, I got this one on a giveaway that is hosted by Anthony Ryan quite often on his newsletter. If you haven't subscribed to him, make sure to do it. And yeah, he loves doing giveaway. And I am fortunately the lucky one who managed to get a signed copy of Red River Savin, his first murder mystery novel. Looking forward to reading this one someday. I have enjoyed many books by Anthony Ryan, but before I get around to reading Red River Savin, I think I will make sure to finish reading the Covenant of Steel trilogy first. Now let's move on to talking about the self-published and indie fantasy books that I got this month, and I will just start from the beautiful and special editions First, I have mentioned it many times now that self-published fantasy or indie fantasy books are publishing gorgeous hardcover, especially the one they are doing through Kickstarter projects, or in some cases aren't. Like for example, the Broken Binding, the Broken Binding Press. And of course, I will have to showcase that first. And it is for Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill, the Broken Binding Press edition. I already did a full review, a full unboxing for Of Blood and Fire, the Broken Binding Press edition. I think this is a beautiful edition. If this is how their first title turned out, I'm very excited to see how the future editions, future books published by the Broken Binding Press will look like. I mean, their first title is looking this damn fine already. Take a look at this gold gilding. It's beautiful. And also the interior illustrations are beautiful. So yeah, other than the Broken Binding, there is another company that I think is doing such an amazing job in the indie fantasy scene. Not only indie fantasy scene really, but for pretty much the fantasy landscape, and that is Wraithmarked Creative. And Wraithmarked was super kind enough to send me so many goodies this month. The first one is their first Kickstarter campaign hardcover, I think, and this is a deluxe edition for A Mark of Kings by Bryce O'Connor and Lux Milenko. It's gorgeous. This one is stunning. Take a look at this. I think the cover art is done by Sean King, and I really love the design for this one. It's beautiful. Tada! This is the spine, the front cover, gilded edges, and then take a look at this end paper. Wow, this is end paper done by Daniel Kamarudin. It is truly stunning in my opinion. Daniel Kamarudin is one of my favorite artists, and that's not all. Wraithmarked Creative also did this for the back and paper. Fully colored map, beautiful. And again, this is just an example of how much Wraithmarked try to do their best with everything they do, because this is not all. The book comes with this kind of black page for all the chapters, and then there are plenty of interior illustration as well. And what makes this edition even more cooler in my opinion is because the artist that's doing the interior art for A Mark of Kings special edition is Joshua Raphael, which is an Indonesian artist. So he's living in my city as well, in the same city as mine. This is the black and white artwork. Beautiful, right? And at the back, you can see all the illustrations, interior illustrations in fully colored. Hold on. Like this one. Ta-da! Here's another one. See, all of this are done by Joshua Raphael. Overall, this is just a top-notch edition, and I look forward to reading this. And that's not all. Apparently, Wraithmarked also sent me some beautiful bookmarks like this one. This is for their upcoming Kickstarter campaign book, When Swords Fell Silent, I think. And I also got some limited edition bookmark of Daniel Green's. Ta-da! Look at these three. Aren't they so beautiful? And of course, speaking of Daniel Green, I also got a prototype copy of Neon Ghost Whitsun. Yeah, the Kickstarter campaign for this one just ended, so this is a prototype copy. The final copy that is published through the Kickstarter campaign will be even more beautiful than this. But even for this one, I am already very impressed. First, I'm going to show you the end paper. Ta-da! This is the end paper, and then you can see here. Wow, that sound is kind of crazy. Hold on. And this is the tip-in page. Yeah, this one isn't signed, but take a look at this. This is Taya from the cover art, and yeah, Zara Alfonso did the cover art. I think it turns out amazingly beautiful. On top of this, I think the entire design for this book, all of them done by Sean King, looks really neat. I think Sean King, in my opinion, really should do more neat design, neat typography and neat design like this. I think it always turns out really nicely, like the book that I'm going to show you after this one. But first, this is the back and paper. So again, thank you Wraithmarked for sending me a copy of this one. And again, that's not all. There's still some more to showcase here. I got some bookmark again. This is for the Legends and Lattes Kickstarter campaign edition. And speaking about Legends and Lattes, tomorrow on August 1st, the Kickstarter campaign for the deluxe edition for Legends and Lattes will start. And if you're a fan of the book, make sure to check it out. I have a feeling that the deluxe edition for the Legends and Lattes will be their best product yet. Will be the best product by Wraithmarked Creative so far. They're going all out on it. And yeah, and then finally, I got Legends and Lattes enamel pin. Ta-da! It looks so nice. And tada, this one, Sword of Kaigen bookmarked. We are getting closer and closer to the time when we will finally get to receive the hardcover edition of The Sword of Kaigen published by Wraithmarked Creative, and I genuinely can't wait. The artwork inside this beautiful bookmark is done by Felix Ortiz. So pretty. Look at the silver and the color. And on top of that, I also received this stunning, absolutely stunning art prints of Mamoru and Misaki. These are done by Vinci. The artist is called Vinci, and I think Vinci is an amazing artist. And then finally, playmat. This is my first ever playmat, and I think this is the playmat of Iron Prince by Bryce O'Connor, which I will get around to reading very soon. So yeah, that's a lot of items and books from Wraithmarked Creative, and I'm really thankful of Wraithmarked Creative for sending me all of this. This is a way for them to thank me for all the SFF Spotlight features that I keep on doing for, well, their products and many other books in the science fiction and fantasy community. And yeah, thank you so much. Really, it means a lot to me, and I look forward to reading both of them. As for the last special edition for Survival Fantasy book I got this month, it is for the second book in the Warhide series, Revenge by A.C. Coble. So I talked earlier, right, about neat design done by Sean King. This is an example, a great example. I love the frame design and style being put onto this series, and I look forward to reading this series for the first time from the first book. This one, Conspiracy. I still haven't read it. The cover art is done by Daniel Kamarudin again, and all the interior illustrations inside Revenge is done by Felix Ortiz. I'm going to show one of them here. Ta-da! Thank you so much to A.C. Coble for sending me a copy of Conspiracy. That's about covered it for the special edition for Subhobbies Fantasy books. So time to show you the remaining 5 Subhobbies Fantasy books I got, and the first one is Of Thieves and Shadow by B.S.H. Garcia. Really thankful to the author for sending me a copy of this. The cover art is done by Jeff Brown. This seems like it will be a compelling fantasy book revolving around a murder mystery and also an unlikely hero, or maybe a hero that is forced into taking the role of a leader due to an unforeseen circumstance. That's my prediction and my conclusion based on the premise that I read anyway. But I look forward to reading this. I've been seeing a lot of great reviews for this one. And yeah, thank you so much to the author for sending me a copy of this. I'm really grateful. And then I also got this amazing sounding standalone novel by Palmer Pickering. Yeah, this is an updated copy. I already have a copy of Heliotrope, but this one is an updated copy, I think, with an updated and edited text, which means that this is a better edition compared to the first one. And I look forward to reading this one. Andrew from Andrew Wizardly Read has been saying a lot of great things about Heliotrope, and of course, based on what I've read about Palmer Pickering's books, whether it's her sci-fi books or this one, all of them have great receptions. I definitely will read this one. This one probably within this year. I probably will read this in December. December is usually the month where I start to read more standalone books and also doing some rereads, so I will try to include this one in my December reading. Really thankful to the author, Palmer Pickering, for sending me an updated copy to read and review. And of course, for the next one that I got, is a book sent to me by my fellow booktuber friend and now author. It is The Prophet of Eden by Philip Chase. This is the second book in the Eden trilogy. I really enjoyed my time reading the first book, The Way of Eden, and it seems like those who have read the first book and then continue to the second book, all of them agreed that The Prophet of Eden is superior. That is awesome. Cannot wait to read this one. Fingers crossed I can read this as soon as I can, especially because the third book in the series is, I think, coming this September, on the 21st of September. So yeah, I will have to read this as soon as I can. And take a look at the back cover here. Dragons, haha. And then the next book that I got is again by a fellow booktuber, and this time it is Andrew Watson. And yeah, this is his debut novel, Harbinger of Justice. This is the cover art. The cover art is done by Felix Ortiz. Again, he's a very familiar name in the Subhobbies and indie fantasy community. And just like The Way of Eden, this one has been gaining a lot of great receptions as well. I think the author mentioned that this is a Middle East inspired fantasy novel. Looking forward to reading this. Love the yellow color in the cover art. And finally, the last Subhobbies fantasy book that I got, it is a super massive one because this is a complete omnibus of 4 books being put into one, and the series is titled War of the 12. This is War of the 12 by Alex Robbins. It is 800 pages long, and this is actually taller than the standard hardcover. Yeah, it is huge. It is huge. I was delighted when the author sent me an email saying that he wants to send me a copy of the complete omnibus of his series. And the writing is small. Yeah, what do you expect? This is an entire series compressed into one omnibus. So yeah, thank you so much to Alex Robbins for sending me a copy of War of the 12 omnibus. I heard many great things about this indie fantasy series. I've been seeing this indie fantasy series on Amazon a lot lately, and well, I think it is fortunate that I got a copy of this one now. And now we move on to the final category of today's book haul video. I have many books to showcase in this final category, and the final category is books sent to me by traditional published authors and publishers. And I will start, of course, from the one sent to me by The Broken Binding, or to be more precise for this one, is from Gaurav Mohanty. Yeah, Sons of Darkness by Gaurav Mohanty, the traditionally published edition, is out now, and this is the Broken Binding edition that he sent to me. It is absolutely stunning. I always say that when I finished Sons of Darkness last year, I hope there will be a hardcover edition of Sons of Darkness, my favorite fantasy debut of 2022, with the same cover art in hardcover format, and it finally happened. This is beautiful. This is the spray edges, stunning design from The Broken Binding, and this is the end paper. Beautiful end paper. It comes signed by the author and also numbered. Ta-da! Yeah. And I'm really thankful to Gaurav for sending me a copy of this one. I love this book very much. I'm looking forward to reading the second book, A Dance of Shadows. And if you haven't had this one, if you love grimdark fantasy, you love The First Law, Malazan, and A Song of Ice and Fire, try to read Sons of Darkness. This book is heavily inspired by those three, with heavy infusion of Mahabharata. And for the other book I got that was sent to me by The Broken Binding, it is The Bone Shape Wakes, the third book in the Tacha trilogy by R.J. Barker. So yeah, just like the previous two books in the series, this is once again illustrated by Katrina Paints. Take a look at this. This matches the previous two books, The Bone Ship and also The Call of the Bone Ship. And this is the end paper. Beautiful, beautiful. Ta-da! Hold on. Ding. I really love the design on this one. I think Katrina Paints made some very distinctive art, and I'm glad that she is working a lot of collaborations with The Broken Binding now. Yeah, love this edition. And once again, thank you so much to The Broken Binding for sending me a copy of their special edition. It's always beautiful and a happy day when I get a copy from The Broken Binding. And plus, this one is surprisingly super floppy. Ta-da! Nice, right? And for the next item that I got, this is again by R.J. Barker, but this is sent to me by Orbit Books. This is a hardcover copy of his newest series, The Forsaken Trilogy, and this is Gods of the Wood. Haven't read this one yet, even though I have owned an advanced reading copy of it for quite a while now. Hopefully I can get around to this one soon. As I said, I'm a fan of R.J. Barker's books, and although I've seen some reviews saying that this one is a bit more bizarre compared to the previous two trilogies, I still will read this one and find out for myself whether I will enjoy it or not. I mean, speaking of R.J. Barker's bizarre world sometimes, in the Taisha trilogy, The Bone Ship, the first time I read that, I gave it 3 stars. And then I did a reread of that book. When the second book came out, I gave it 4 stars. So yeah, this might be one of those cases again. And then for the remaining books I got, before I move on to talking about all the manga and light novels, finally light novels that I received from Press and Ize Press, these are all sent to me by Howard Andrew Jones. And the first 3 that I received from him is for this Ringsworn Trilogy series. So the first one is For the Killing of Kings, beautiful cover art. And the second book is Upon the Flight of a Queen, even more beautiful cover art. Take a look at this dragon and this person riding a griffin fighting each other. It's so epic. And the third book in the series is this one, When the Goddess Wakes. All of them are done by the same artist, and I think they turned out incredibly well. I have seen plenty of great reviews for this one. Mark Lawrence praised the first book very highly, and I look forward to reading this trilogy as soon as I can. And other than that, he also sent me this newest book by him, Lord of a Shattered Land. Yeah, don't know too much about this one. I think this is a sword and sorcery novel, and this is actually the first physical book published by Ben Books that I own now. Prior to Lord of the Shattered Land, I didn't own any physical books published by Ben Books. So thank you so much to Howard Andrew Jones for sending me a copy of this one. I have received some comments saying that they want sword and sorcery novels and stories. Well, I think this could be the answer to your question. And actually, not only that, he also sent me these 3 magazines here. Hold on. This is called Tales from the Magician's Skull. All 3 of these are collection of stories edited by Howard Andrew Jones, and every one of them are sword and sorcery stories. Yeah, I don't usually read stories in magazines, but I think this looks kind of cool. This is the first magazine of short stories that I own ever. So yeah, thank you so much to Howard Andrew Jones for sending me all these books. And again, if you're looking for sword and sorcery novels and stories, check out his bibliography. So that's a lot of books already, right? But as it turns out, there are still 15 books left on today's book haul video. And all of them are manga, manhwa, and light novels. All of them sent to me by Press and Ize Press. I will start by talking about the 2 manhwa that I received first. These 2 manhwa are definitely solo leveling inspired, and the first one is Tomb Raider King and also The World After the Fall. From these 2, I definitely prefer The World After the Fall more. I have talked about them in my June wrap video, and yeah, I really enjoyed these 2. I think this one definitely is superior. Looking forward to reading the continuation of The World After the Fall. Hopefully Press will send me a copy of the 2nd volume and beyond. The artwork inside this one is just so stunning, and I really can't wait to see what the continuation of the story will be. I mean, just take a look at some of this here. This is just an example of just how beautiful the artwork inside this can be. See? It is action-packed, and I had a great time reading this one. Hopefully the 2nd book and beyond will be even better than the 1st book. I have read those 2 manhwa, but I haven't read these 2 manga that I received. The first one is Your Forma. I think this is a sci-fi manga series, and at the back it is mentioned that the Your Forma is a smart thread installed directly into the brain that records all its user's sensory perception and emotions. So the story is about this electronic investigator Echika Hieda, whose job is to dive into these recordings in search of clues to the world's toughest and most serious crime. So it is murder mystery in a sci-fi setting. And then I also got The Summer Hikaru Died by Moku Mokuren, and this one sounds quite creepy and interesting to me. But this is about Hikaru, who came back from the mountain 6 months ago in the storyline, and then the Hikaru that came back might not be the same Hikaru that went to the mountain. So yeah, probably a mystery series. As for the remaining 11 books I got, all of them are light novels. Now I know many of you, some of you have commented on my YouTube channel saying that I should read more light novels. Well, I finally have the chance now, because now I own several light novels here. And the first one that I got is a very exciting one. It is 86. Yeah, 86 by Asato with an illustration by Shirabi. This is one of my most anticipated light novels to read. Heard so many wonderful things about this series. I first found out about 86 because of the anime adaptation, and yeah, take a look at this. This is so cool, right? You can see this front page. Tada! Hold on. Tada! Yeah, I think this is very nice. And yeah, there is an anime adaptation going on for this one. I think it is 2 seasons long at the moment. And whether it's the anime adaptation or the light novel, both of them receive many great receptions. So yeah, looking forward to reading this. I think this is a mecha, a sci-fi series. Another exciting light novel I received that already has an anime adaptation is Overlord. Wow, it's so pretty. This one looks awesome. I have watched several episodes of the anime. I think it's good, but I still haven't finished watching the anime adaptation. But this one, cover art looks really great. Hopefully the light novel will be as good or even better than the anime adaptation. I think I have heard about Overlord from some comments in my YouTube section saying that the light novels is actually better than the anime adaptation. So yeah, thank you so much to Press for sending me a copy of this one. And then the next light novel I received is Yami Hara by Mizuki Tsujimura. Some of you might know the name Mizuki Tsujimura for her novel The Lonely Castle in the Mirror that already has an, I think, upcoming anime movie. Yeah, Lonely Castle in the Mirror is a very high praised novel, and I look forward to reading this one probably after I'm done reading Lonely Castle in the Mirror. But this is her newest upcoming book, Yami Hara. And then I also received The Samurai and the Prisoner by Honobu Yonezawa, who I believe is the author behind Hyoka light novel series, but I could be wrong. I think this is a historical fiction novel, and from the blurb, I believe that this takes place during the time where Oda Nobunaga still lives. and that's usually one of my favorite period in Japanese history that I like to read or watch. And then the next one I want to show you is Dark Soul Mask of Vindication by Michael Stackpole. This one is a bit worrying to me because I love Dark Souls very much. Many of you know about that already. I love From Software games. But this one, the reception is insanely mixed. I think on Goodreads right now, it has an average rating of 3 out of several ratings. So yeah, I'm not sure whether I will be able to enjoy this one or not. But as always, because it is Dark Soul, I will still give it a try and find out for myself. And then the next light novel I got is Ishura by Keiso with an illustration by Kureta. I think the title of the series is The New Demon King War. And yeah, this is a battle royale style story, and I love those kind of stories. I think there's always a lot of philosophical discussion about life and death and also supremacy in this kind of stories. And also, there is a new anime trailer announced for this one already, so I believe this one is getting an anime adaptation. So yeah, I look forward to reading this. Thank you so much to Ize Press for sending me a copy of Ishura. As for the remaining 5 light novels that I received this month, I will admit that I haven't looked further into them. But they all definitely got my attention, and I will definitely do some research on them, especially the first one, The Ephemeral Scenes of Setsuna's Journey. Based on the blurb that I read at the back here, this sounds like it will be an emotional reading experience. And then I also received My Summoned Beast is Dead, this one, by Rakuzan with an illustration by Miyu. And then Hollow Regalia, Corpse Reviver. Ta-da! And for the last two, Demon Lord 2099. This is a cyberpunk in the city of Shinjuku light novel series, and at the back it says that the future waits for no one. And finally, the last one is Sabukui Bisku. Ta-da! As you can probably tell, I have a lot of reading to do. And yeah, thank you so much to Ize Press and Ize Press for sending me all of these books to read. I did not ask for them, and they sent me all of them, and I'm truly grateful, especially because they are some of the biggest publishers for manga and manhwa right now. So that's pretty much it. That's the end of today's massive book haul video. It is huge. I don't know whether next month's book haul video will be this huge again or not. As I said, combining the amount of books I got from the month of May until the end of July, I've acquired more than 100 physical books. And yeah, it is getting more and more impossible for me to catch up to all my TBR pile. So yeah, that's the end of today's book haul video though. Thank you so much for watching. Do tell me which of all these books you see in my book haul video that you find to be the most interesting. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.